Hi everyone, I'm Christina and I'm a zero waste wannabe. I've taken a few weeks off. It's been kind of a crazy few weeks. As you can tell, I have moved, so I'm now in a new apartment and I'm excited to start making videos again for you. And I'm really excited about this week's topic. This week we're going to be talking about the term zero waste and what it means to me and why several zero waste influencers are moving away from using the term. So the term zero waste was actually, it came about in the industrial space. The term zero waste actually refers to creating products that will not create waste in the long run. So when a product has outlived its usefulness as that product, then it enters back into the manufacturing stream and is completely reused. And so we don't waste any resources in the manufacturing process. It has since been translated into this movement where we seek to reduce our trash. And Sustainably Vegan did an amazing video a few weeks ago, and I highly encourage you to check it out. I'll link to it below. But her video talks about why she is moving away from using the term zero waste and why she is now going to start using the term low impact. Like I said, her video is amazing. I highly recommend you check it out. But her main point in moving away from the term zero waste is that the term doesn't really encompass everything that we're trying to do. It really focuses on reducing our solid waste. And there are so many other things that we can do as a society to reduce our impact on the planet that, potentially zero waste is not the end all. And it's not. I don't know why I said potentially. It is not the end all. There's a lot that we can all do. And in addition to that, it's a very perfectionist term. The word zero, it's all or nothing. You either create zero waste or you don't. And if you don't, then it really creates a sense of failure. And I've heard this from a lot of people, how they could never go zero waste, so why even try? It's very overwhelming. And especially when you see people with their trash jars where they have fit the last 5 years of trash in one mason jar. That can be very alienating for people, especially because not everybody has the same access to the same resources. You may live in an area where you don't have access to bulk foods or to unpackaged items. You may only have one grocery store in your area and you have to buy what you can buy at that grocery store, and that's not your fault. You can't do anything about that. And so the term zero waste isn't very inclusive sometimes. And Sustainably Vegan, also points to the social injustices that are not always discussed, and are not often discussed actually really in many environmental movements. And so there's all of these reasons why she is moving away from using the term zero waste. And once she posted that video, I've seen many more zero wasters post similar videos about why they are moving away from the term zero waste. And I totally see where they're coming from. It makes complete sense. It is a very all or nothing term. Last year at work, we did a plastic-free August challenge. It was based on the plastic-free July challenge that started in Australia, and I encourage you to check that out this coming July. But it was the first plastic-free challenge that we had done, and I was getting calls from people all the time saying, hey, I want to sign up for this challenge, but how am I supposed to not have a plastic bag in my trash can? Or how am I supposed to, I have a cat, how am I supposed to go plastic free August if I have a cat. I have her litter and her, this and that, or, what am I supposed to do about insert item here? And what I kept trying to emphasize to people was that just because you're participating in a challenge called Plastic Free August, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are eliminating every bit of plastic from your life. It's not feasible, it's not realistic, and it's quite honestly, in some cases, it's just not possible. I mean, the camera that I'm filming on right now is made of plastic, and it is on a plastic tripod, and I have my notes in a planner that has a plastic cover, and my TV is plastic, and you can't get away from it. And so when we talk about plastic free, it's not completely being free of all plastic. It's reducing what you can and eliminating what you can, but it's not about being perfect, because every little bit matters. So, and that's only plastic. That's not even zero waste. So I absolutely understand why people want to move away from this term to be more inclusive of people that don't resonate with the term zero waste. For me, I really like the term zero waste because for me it grounds me. If you saw my video about why I love the zero waste movement, you know that I've always considered myself an environmentalist. I've always considered myself to be a conservationist, and yet I wasn't really living up to that. And zero waste really gave me a way to live the environmentalist ethic. And obviously I am not zero waste. I still create waste. I still create trash and recycling, and I'm not zero waste, and I don't think that I ever will be. And I'm okay with that, but I'm doing a lot to reduce my waste. But anyway, the term zero waste really grounds my efforts. It gives me something to look back on when I start to move away from sustainable behaviors. I'm able to think, okay, zero waste. Where can I reduce my waste? And for me, the term waste is not just solid waste. It's not just trash. For me, waste is anything that is going into the environment that is not circular. That nature is circular. Every process in nature is circular, and we as humans have just kind of abandoned that model, and we've moved to a linear model. And so if we are, let's say that I am taking a long shower for no good reason. I am wasting water. Or if I have the lights on in rooms that I am not in, I am wasting electricity. Or if I am driving a mile down the road rather than walking, I am wasting gasoline and fuel and producing carbon emissions going out into the environment that are then contributing to climate change. And so for me, the term zero waste brings me back to, okay, I want to produce less waste into our environment. And I know that I'm not perfect. I'm always going to be creating some waste. It's just not possible not to in our current economy and in our current world that we live in. So that's why I am not leaving the term zero waste. Now, the reason that I'm just now making this video, I had wanted to make this video for a while and then just kind of honestly forgot about it. But there was another video that was posted last night from Shell Bizzle, and she's amazing. She has some really great videos, and I'll link to this particular video below. But she's one that actually did a video several months ago, right after Sustainably Vegan's video. But she posted another one last night and she said something that really resonated with me, and that's how the zero waste movement is actually, in some ways, it's comparable to veganism. And I'm not saying that right. So what she's saying is that, people look at being vegan or being vegetarian as an all or nothing. You either consume animal products or you don't. And the zero waste movement is very similar. But what she points out, she is vegan. And she had somebody make a comment to her about how they could never be vegan because of one food item that they really enjoy that's a meat product. And she was like, well, you don't have to be perfect about it, you don't have to be completely vegan, but maybe you can reduce the amount of animal products that you consume, and maybe that's your one exception, or so it's not an all or nothing. But the way that veganism and vegetarianism is oftentimes presented is it's an all or nothing. And I myself as an environmentalist, I've never resonated with that. When people tell me, oh, you should go vegan, or oh, you should go vegetarian because it's the best way to reduce your carbon footprint. I was somebody that was eating meat every meal, every day. And for me, it was like, well, that's a drastic life change. I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. And why are you being so judgy about it? But now that I've been trying to reduce my waste, it's actually translated to now consuming less animal products. I'm still not vegetarian. I'm definitely not vegan. So my video stopped recording, and I don't know why. But anyway, I would say that I am now vegetarian 50% of the time, which is not perfect. And there's probably a lot of vegetarians and a lot of vegans in the world that would say that that's not good enough. But in comparison to what I was consuming, that's a huge difference. And that makes a huge difference for the environment. And you might say, well, how does that fit in with zero waste? If you're eating it, you're not wasting it. But there's a lot of energy and resources that go into creating meat products that could be used instead in other ways, more efficiently. So the amount of water that it takes, for example, to create 1 pound of beef is a huge amount of water. And yes, I would argue that in many cases it's unnecessary. And that is a point that I have not reached in my life where I can say that. But so those resources could be better allocated elsewhere. But if it weren't for zero waste, I wouldn't have made that switch, because zero waste is grounding me in my efforts and reminds me what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So what I really try to do in my videos and in my Instagram posts and all of those things is really show that zero waste is not an all or nothing. There's a lot of things that each of us can do within our own limits. If you don't have one thing available to you, you might have another thing available to you that maybe I don't have. And it's every little thing that we do that really makes a difference and really matters for the earth. And if I am not doing that, if I am coming off as zero waste, as an all or nothing, then I would hope that somebody would tell me, because that is not how I feel at all. Obviously, I'm not zero waste. I never will be. But I love this movement, and I love what it is doing for my life, and where I am seeing it impact our communities and our country and the rest of the world. It's really having an impact, and I'm seeing that every day, and it's absolutely amazing. So this has been a really long video, and I've really just kind of been rambling, and I may end up having to refilm it because I'm just not even sure what I've been saying, and my hair looks terrible. But whatever term you want to use to define your sustainable actions, use that term. Just because one person's using zero waste, or one person's using low impact, or maybe somebody else is using low waste or less waste, or whatever it may be, find something that resonates with you and use that term to describe your own actions. You don't have to join somebody else's movement if it doesn't resonate with you. Do what makes you happy and comfortable, and every little bit counts. That's really the moral of the story. It really doesn't matter what term you use. It's your actions that matter. And if we all do them, then they all add up. So that's my video, and I will see you in my next video. Have a great week.